Okay, I'm recording. If you just want to get that up and ready.
Yep. Give me a second. That should be it.
Yeah, there we go.
So is this just a comp game or is it a
Yeah, this is comp.
just comp? All right. Um, I guess first of all, how would you reckon, like, how has Winston been going since we last did about Rio?
Better.
Better? Okay.
A lot.
What is better, like in your words?
Me.
Yes, but is it the planning of like engages? Is it the use of primal like after a dive to stay longer in and put more pressure out? Is it
I'm
um
still not popping primal early enough, but I was, or I have been, just been more successful in my dives recently because of the coaching.
okay? Okay, so a little bit more sort of like proper engagement. All right, okay. So that we would say has gone better. Awesome. Let's just
This
quote
game
unquote
is going to be painful.
dive into it. It's gonna be painful.
Yeah,
To you or to the enemy?
not to the enemy, to me.
Alright. Well, let's see what we can do about that, shall we?
Yeah. This is the last game I played.
The last game we played. A surprising amount of standing still. Alright. One thing I would say is I wouldn't peek wide open to do your charge attack because the charge attack does so little damage. It's really not meant for you to like. You can poke with it to farm a bit of like your ult, so to speak. But I wouldn't do that if it puts you in poke potential of like a bunch of characters or whatever there's around here. Because you're just gonna feed more than you're really getting in most of the time. It's more so like the charge beam is more so really good if you wanna like uh get someone who is like running away and you don't have your jump, it's on cooldown, then you can do the right click and like and then we get a kill, right? So don't really do that. Uh, you would get much more value by just kind of sitting here and then poking whatever you can get, and then figuring out, okay, I have my bubble, I have my jump. Who do I go on? Because realistically, they are gonna have an issue, which is that they're gonna have to cross a lot of open space. And since we're playing dive, as I always say, is we can make some predictions about what will have to happen. And these are moving here, and we are holding around here. We have some questionable positioning by some of these players. Play for that, right? Okay. Bit of a lack of a tangible target to pressure here. We do a little bit of pressure on the sire. We do a little bit of pressure on random squishies, but there's nothing we're really sticking to, which I don't really like. We're not really getting a whole lot of value when we could be getting a ton of value here. Who is in their composition? Who is someone that you can go on?
Moira.
Given either given no fate or given you want to force her to use fate, yes. But I wouldn't say Moira is a good target, really. There's two good targets, one okay and two no goes. List them for me.
No go as Zarya and May.
No go exactly why?
May can ice block, Zarya can bubble, May slows and is very good close range and just good against Monkey, and can wall. Zarya can bubble and deny like 800 damage or something across 5 seconds, so you're just gonna die all in
And she
Monkey.
becomes stronger, and she has two supports.
I would be going on the Mercy, that was my initial target, but in this case her Guardian Angel usage was just 10 times better than my jump usage, and I didn't know how to counter it, so Genji. No, Moira became the easy target, but Genji, I guess. Genji wasn't an option because he was getting pocketed.
Yeah. Genji is a good sort of like open target. Mercy is a good open target. So that means given no like major like if these are out of position, that's the only criteria. You can just kind of go for them in diveable position. May, if she has no cryo, you can go for May. If Moira has no fate or you want to force fate, you can also force cryo. I will say though, forcing cryo isn't nearly as strong. Um, Saya is basically a no go. Like unless she is completely like unless she is like over here alone and the supports are over here and you all are like here, you can then obviously kill that Saya. She's not gonna get help in time. So okay, good. You already know all of this. We're just painfully letting you relive your mistakes. Force die block, change target as soon as that happens. It's a good anti. Jumping to live. Just gonna say not much we can do here. We just kind of have to sit around. Over jumping a little bit. You clip your jumps a lot on terrain as well. Like you like get stuck like landing into these things, and you have like so like when you're jumping on Monkey, you want to be able to have almost pinpoint accuracy. Like you want to get to the comfortable level of like Monkey where you can pinpoint land on anything you want to land on. So like standing where you are right now, you should be able to pinpoint accuracy land on this corner, for example, or you should be able to know exactly how to angle your jump and use your short jump slash full jump to be able to also perfectly land on this corner, right? Like that's the kind of range like of control you need to be able to have to get the most value out of Winston, which will further snowball your ability to get sort of like insane value on the right target choices, because sometimes you're on the right target but you're not squishing enough burst in there because you miss the jump. You use the jump to close the distance, which is good, but it's like you want to close the distance and get the damage. That's like 3 extra damage on top of your dive. Why wouldn't you? Um, and we'll get back to how we can practice that. I think there's a few actual like lobby or like workshop codes where you can just practice jump basically, and I would get really comfortable with that. All right. If you are playing like a high ground position and your teammates are backing off, like in these positions, and you want to pressure them or even like farm primal and maybe even get some resources out from them and hope that you get value from your team. What's really important is that when you're sitting here, there's no reason to jump in because you're going to be taking a lot of heat. So just drop in, use bubble to prolong your stay and do more sort of like damage if you need to. If you want to dive anything, dive the people that are going for your core or your backline, I should say. But the reason you don't want to do it if you're sort of like just gonna cleave a bunch is that you want to have that jump so that you can jump to the high ground and then run out in safety. You kind of want to like have an escapability. Whereas if you're like right on top of them, that extra damage no longer matters because you're probably not getting a kill when you have uh, Moira, Mercy, Saya, Mei, and Genji. Like you're probably not getting a kill. You might get the kill on the Genji, but it's very unlikely. So just drop and yeah, don't commit your jump here because it's very likely that you're gonna need that jump to get out. Do get it back. The rest of them have kind of pushed up. We do get out. All right. This is right now the situation we talked about. So what do I want you to do right now? Like last time we talked about this situation.
Don't go in when I'm below 400 HP.
Nope, 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 nope. That's not it. There's a play sequence that can help us a lot here. And what is that play sequence? What does that look like right now? You have an ability that can allow you to do something that you really want to do here.
Is this because I don't have bubble right now?
Nope. What I'm getting at is right now we have a fully grouped up enemy that is pushing card under high ground, and we're contesting high ground. And we want to make sure that we give our team an opportunity to have space and to get picks. And what we can do here is we can jump down on them now, cleave for as long as possible, use our bubble to really just deny either the Mercy to because if you chase the Mercy, we're gonna take some heat from the Genji, but we have Primal Rage. So what is really important here is we get as much denial going here, pop the Primal, and then find out where do we find value with this Primal, just to really, really get pressure on them. Stay for as long as possible in the fight, doing pressure, giving your team effectively you want to give your team space and time here, and you also want to have the potential to us to just get like an outright pick. Let's see what's happened. Lose the Genji. You can technically outdamage Mercy heals, but I would still say forcing the Mercy is much, much, much better because if you go on the Genji, there's a big chance that he can live. But on the Mercy, even if you don't kill the Mercy, if the Mercy is forced to back out, then the Mercy is not doing anything for a little bit right now. And you might also just get a pick on Mercy, which is huge. So I would say just force the Mercy out, get to her, start pressuring her. She's gonna use her shift, you use your shift, and then by now you should be able to secure her. That's actually a perfect example of if you had landed correctly there on top of her with a melee front facing, she would have died.
I think she GA'd away.
No, you just didn't hit it.
Go to this third person POV.
She's GAing here, right? To over like somewhere here. If you had landed close, like here,
Oh my
and then
days. Look,
melee.
She GA'd mid jump though, in fairness. I did land on pretty much where she was gonna be, or where she was, but she just GA'd at the perfect
But
time.
but you're facing like the wrong way. You've overshot it a little bit, and you didn't melee. I would have killed her here. Like this would have been a kill. And it matters. It does matter. It adds up so much. Like right now, maybe it's like a situation of we can say maybe not, but the practice isn't the right practice, which means that I know for a fact that this is happening a lot, which I know for a fact is having a compounding effect across like 100 games, right? Melee would also have killed her. That's unfortunate.
Was breaking the bubble there the bad decision?
Um, a bit. Honestly, I would say. Hang on, once the replay view is not bugging, I would say the bigger issue here is the fact that you're being snowballed because they have so many ultimates. But because realistically, Coalescence Blade um, is difficult to deal with. It's also a bit questionable that your Kiriko is trying to counter it very late. Not like preemptively, but very late with a Kitsune Rush. Like at this point, like there's so much damage here. It's a nice ult from Yukri though. So the biggest thing is like precision and tempo. Like very precise, very uh tempo, like quick dives on targets is what I would like to see more of. We talked about it a bit last time. And then I think honestly just grinding jump mechanics like movement, Winston movement would actually give you a lot by now. We're at the point where I would say I think that is something that needs to become you need to become very comfortable with it. You look very uncomfortable doing some of these dives. They look very sort of like premeditated and not so automatic for you. Um, and the only way to get that speed of just like flicking to the side and doing like a flick jump and short jump and vertical jump and whatnot with the correct melee position. So like you land sort of like at a 45-degree like downwards to your target and then melee it. The only way to get extremely comfortable with that is just to force yourself to do it all the time. And you can do it in like some workshop codes. There is one. I used one at some point. It's been ages ago. I'll see if I can find it. And it's sort of fairly good for that. It has jump practice and it has primal practice as well. Or it's not really gonna practice like anything meaningful for you. It gets the sort of like the distance sort of like a little bit more like intuitive for you. Because the distance needs to be very intuitive for you. You need to have a really good feel of the character, how far it goes. If you press like that, you know? Alright. Nice. It's a bit more like it. That's controlled a bit more correctly, I'd say. Did Yeah, no. Actually that's fine. Gonna say that is gonna hurt a bit. That's unfortunate. That's a moment where I would say like if you had like full like the right angle and then like full
Oh,
W
kill
jump.
Genji.
Yeah, you would know like you would have because this jump was cut short. I don't know if you actually tried to like you had S down a little bit here, or if you didn't like
Oh,
angle
what
it
did like
properly.
right this second here?
Right this second here is this jump is shorter than it can like that's
That's
not
that's intentional.
okay.
Because
So you wanted to jump the corner or
I wanted to jump to the corner. Because I wanted to jump on the Genshin. I was like, no, the Mercy and Moira will probably be back if I into them now. I'll just be
okay. So
jumping
it's
to them.
more so a misgauge of the state of the fight than it is
Yeah.
mechanic. Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, if this was me, I would just full W here. Like, there's no reason not to full W. You have your Kiriko right here that will probably be able to help you on somewhere along the lines of like this space. And these two characters is not gonna 100 to 0 you. Like, it's not really happening in this current situation, especially not if they're taking heat from these people. So in this scenario, I would just gone for it. No reason not to. You might not kill them, but if you can force out a resource and add the potential that someone hits an arrow or like a shot, that's good, you know? We take it. We take it. And now we're at the point where we chill a little bit more. Gonna say we probably looking at just having to primal to recontest here. Okay. Fair. Kind of nice. Nice. No issue with this entire play. I think that was fairly well thought out. Fairly well done. How many times are you gonna miss the high ground? So we're 1-2 now.
That's the last time I try.
At this point, you're hanging your head in shame.
I gave
Never
up.
mind.
I
Never
gave up.
mind. Let's not mention it.
I literally gave up.
All right. Okay. So definitely something to practice there.
Should have hit the melee there, really. Oof. That would have been direct though, if had he not died to the primary fire. That was the direct. I mean, it was a
Hmm.
little bit over, but
Only thing I would add in the last fight here, just sort of like massive thing, is when because jump isn't a super long cooldown. When you have Kitsune up, just literally
save it.
short jump all the time, like just short jump back and forward, just to like really get that. Like literally just hold down your Tesla cannon, hold down primary fire, short jump to target, short jump to target, melee as you're landing on the short jumps. Like literally just become a burst cannon. Oh, not too bad. Beautiful.
What am I doing? Go after the Messi. That one was good as well. Come on now.
Yeah, it was alright. It's alright. I would say your movement on your mouse right now looks very like it looks like to me that you're straining your muscles a lot in your hand when you're tracking, because when the fight gets really chaotic, it looks like to me that you're tensing up on the mouse hold because your movement is a bit jittery, is what I'll call it. What's really important is that instead of like doing tracking like this, like with my mouse, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I'll just put my jaw out. Instead of tracking like this, because this is me tensing up. I'm tensing up very. I'm doing it a lot more than I should here, right? But that it's really important that tracking is just like you have this the smoothest hold on your mouse, like you're like even could like just like almost like you're just holding your mouse with the tip of your fingers, and then you're just like like letting it glide, like almost like just like if you're doing that kind of movement. So I would say get really comfortable in like just in your tracking, because especially like turning around is very sort of like tic tacky. Is I don't really have a better word for it. And I think like it attributes a little bit to the fact, or contributes a little bit to the fact that you're not here. We'll take it in on the next one in a second. This is fine. But like after here, like turning and tracking is like very slow. We don't just really immediately decide where to go to. That is a good jump though, and a good melee. 360 for divine. I would say a lot of this time it's very like a lot of like swapping targets again instead of just deciding to go for like either Genji or Mercy. Currently Mercy is not really viable because she's in Valk, but Genji is certainly viable. Hmm. Sure. I'm not entirely sure we needed to pop primal there. All right. We'll give it the benefit of the doubt that you could have died there.
I think the most painful part about that was that I said leave it, 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 but Hans obviously was like, no. So Hanzo chased it and he gets punished for it as well.
To be fair, you could have also just went there. It's a fairly enclosed area. Genji can't really dash out of this, and you can kind of just tickle him. Right. Again, Mei is a, as I assume you've kind of come to realize after this game, certainly, Mei is a very difficult opening dive target. Very difficult one. Because she damages you a lot, heals to full, everyone else damages you a lot. She makes it hard for you to get out. And then as soon as she's full HP, she's just like, yeah, let me just clean that up.
Just dive, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that there's not much reason. You have your bobble and your dive, and if the concern is the fact that your team isn't really in on this yet, it's like if you dive here, you can always just back out again, and you're right back to where your supports have line of sight. Uh, Best case scenario, you dive here, pressure the Genji, feel like the Genji is now so pressured that he feels like he needs to dash out. It becomes a little bit easier for your team to enter anyway. Not much reason not to just go. This is now a decent dive target. Because she wasted Ice Block. We like that. Coalescence Moira with a Mercy heal is a
Not good enough.
terrible dive tag. You will not kill that. It will not die. The healing is ridiculous. Any target with 2 supports on it is also a bad target. Turn like a little bit to the side and get that Mercy down. The Mercy is the better target here. And to put it short, why the Mercy is the better target, Moira can heal herself and be healed by Mercy. Mercy can be healed by Moira if you tickle her.
Yeah, but Moira's heals are higher than Mercy's.
Yes, but like if you're going on any target here, the Mercy is the one you can kill. Like she's the one you can actually do something about. You're probably not killing her anyway, but in this scenario, this is the target that might be killable because Mercy or Moira, if Moira is if you're on Moira, Moira can put out healing orb, get healed by Mercy, and then just literally just hold grasp on you. And the healing that this person is receiving now is ridiculous. Whereas on Mercy, the maximum can be Moira heal plus orb. Because she's not going to have her personal heal outside of ult because you're tickling her. Probably not killing any of these, but. No, you can. I was going to say. Oh, I didn't know he said nano jump when you
Yeah,
jump with nano. I've had nano so many times in Winston. I don't think I've ever heard that.
yeah, they says it all the time.
Really?
Yeah,
Guess I'm too focused when I do Winston gameplay.
yeah. I mean, you have to focus on you as bad as you.
I have one word in mind. Beautiful.
I just AFK'd for a second. I just wanted to sit there and cry.
It's alright. We all need to vent sometimes, you know?
I didn't think it was possible for us to lose that fight, but it was. I mean, to be fair, they started the fight out with 2 picks, but like we probably were winning that fight until they dropped Blizzard.
It's a fairly strong ultimate.
I mean, obviously this May was a Smurf as well though, because she had. I mean, her name is I hate either a Smurf or an old account. This dive is about to be absolutely awful. I'm so sorry.
The issue with shield dancing on a Mei is the fact that her beam slow effect lingers for a little bit. So even though you're shield dancing, she's gonna have 100% on the slow. It's just a bit annoying. Right now, this is salvageable if you
Diagnosing.
can gauge the Mercy correct, land a melee and a close jump on her, and allow yourself to live long enough in that position with your bubble to get out. Don't quite land close enough. Probably if you had landed on top of Booth with a melee, that could have been a kill.
Still killable though.
Still killable though, but now we've expended bubble to stay to get our second attempt, and now she bugs. And not killable. Ooh. Kind of smooth that jump though. I'm not sure you entirely intended to go exactly there, but it looked cool. Give you that.
I'd
That
accept.
doesn't look so cool.
I'd accepted defeat at this point.
All right. Um, in general, what I would say is gonna be your biggest sort of like thing now is because I feel like you're sort of like you lost the target focus a little bit, but it's a later game, you say, and from when I've watched you, there seems to be a lot more thought about who, when, where, which are the big questions of diving, you know? They are actually being answered sort of before we dive, and we're answering them a lot quicker. Though you still have moments where I'm like, realistically, what are we really waiting for? Why are we allowing them to deplete our resources here instead of just going? But it's not too bad. It's a lot better, like 100%. What I think is going to give you the most value is to carry on practicing that. And now we're at the point right now where it's just a matter of playing and grinding the confidence almost like the confidence that you know that if there's someone playing on that position, that high ground, you can hit that position very quickly, very snappy, without too much like sort of premeditating. Go there. I'll probably have to press the S like about that long. The best way I can explain it is it's kind of like playing a racing game for me. I just press the button. I look in like a general arch direction. I press the button, and then I almost like I just steer the speed with like S and W, and then I just sort of like as I'm flying gauge. Okay, we're gonna land there, and you get into the point where it becomes very secondary to you, or like you don't even need to think about it. Uh, but getting to that point is literally just about practicing muscle memory. Um, do I have the code still? I'm not sure I do. Because it might be a good thing. Ryan do No, I don't think I do. I don't think I do. That's unfortunate. I remember when this was going around. I was Overwatch 2, 5v5 preset.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
there was some with the changes that we had been told was in the game. Someone made like a version of it, and we
and
all
then
played on it for fun.
Arisa had a dash.
Yeah, basically.
What I wonder what 1,000 damage is.
It's you do 1,000 damage, and then you get a new hero randomly, and they play it in like against people.
Well, yeah, it's a PvP game. I'd assume you play against people, mate.
You play against bots. I'm not so good. Uh,
So, I sorry, I'm tired.
it's all good.
I I kind of hit my smart target. Not like hit it. But as of right now, I'm on the up a lot. I'm noticing that my games, like, I'm pretty much always hitting the smart target. I went into my Excel spreadsheet and I made graphs and I made averages, and I am averaging 23 elims per turn, like 99% of the time. Say sometimes it's a little bit under, but if I got the complete average, I am now at 23.2 or something like that.
So
So
everything comes to everything. You actually kind of hit it.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
but
That's good.
what do we do now? Do we just say, well, we carry on with the smart target then, and we just do smart target until my career profile is also changed?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a very tangible thing because I think we haven't maxed out, so to speak. Like we haven't maxed out to the point where you will not gain by just literally doing what you're already doing. Like we're at the same practice things. Um, those are gonna be the biggest thing, and then I think we're reaching a point where just literally playing monkey and getting more sort of like consistency in the actual mechanical aspect of the hero, which only will come through playing him a bunch
Practice,
and
yeah.
getting more comfortable. Yeah, um, will probably be the biggest return on investment right now. Um, then there's some debate to be had as to whether or not the next move is to add a hero on top of your hero pool, given the fact that Diva is also seeing a lot of use currently, and
What
given
you
the
think
fact that
Diva could be?
absolutely, like currently there's a lot of tanks you can play. Like Diva has a lot of usage, Winston
I
has a lot of usage, Saya even is used as a countermeasure to Diva.
yes,
Hawk definitely sees a lot of usage. I don't know if Hawk is your type of hero necessarily, but
I play a lot of Hog. I did anyway. I
Hawk
used
is
Hog.
is definitely something. Um, so like there are definite like because it's always good to have options as well. Like uh, Winston is probably one of the best like around overall kind of picks. It can be difficult though if let's say you're playing Gibraltar attack and you're playing Winston and they're playing Diva and Reaper defense. Your bubble is very cosmetic with that amount of shield break, and it really is Reaper point blank into Winston bubble with Diva micro missiles and primary fire. This thing lasts like a second, and it can be very very difficult as a monkey. You're gonna reach a point where it's gonna be very very difficult to hit that, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, don't think there's too much else.
So essentially, just play lol.
Play, play lol. It sounds incredibly boring, but outside of these small, let's call them very small kind of reminders on stuff I feel like we have already talked about and that you kind of know when you think about it, but not you don't inherently just know it in games, and you haven't adapted to it fully yet. Like outside of that, there is not much else that I would dive in on. Pardon the pun. Yeah, get more time, get going. Keep going, and you will hit new levels. I don't think you've out climbed your potential at all, but I think it's gonna take a bit of playing for sure.
Okay, I'd just like to say I hate your skin.
Okay. What do you want me to change it to?
Go on then.
Do it just for you.
Yeah, let's see what skins you got. No, I'm gonna end the recording now.